we'll have another auction. This one's gonna have 71 items in it. We have a lot of donated items, so we'll probably be having 2 auctions a month for a little while, if we can get them managed. But watch for the next auction because there's a lot of really nice items in there. And all the items on the free table tonight are different than they've ever been. So you might want to give that a good check. When we have somebody here selling items, be sure and check out the for sale table. And at the end of the meeting, we'll have 6 door prizes. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to our master of ceremonies, Marcel.
Evening, everybody. You guys probably know, most of you do. By the way, for those of you that are new here, my name is Marcel Samples. So people call me Samples, Simples, Samples. I just, I did have a school teacher in grade school that literally pronounced it correctly on the first day of class, and I was stunned because nobody pronounces it the way our family does. It's a misspelled Greek name. But anyway, that's another story. Anyway, most of you may know or not that, Joe Fitzpatrick and I travel quite a bit to take photographs, travel out of the country. And I had swore the last time we were in the mountains about 6 months ago that I was getting a little old for that. I'll be 84 in September. So I thought, and I have 3 stents in my heart. So anyway, lo and behold, we were touring in Ecuador, and Joe wanted to go up in the Andes Mountains and trek through the mountains. We had been down in the rainforest. And so I said, okay, forgetting how difficult that is for me. But what I found was when I was traveling in the Andes, I met quite a few people. I met a cardiologist. I met 2 nurses. And I almost met Jesus. Yeah. So anyway, here we go. Malin's first. All right. And you've got a video for us. Is that correct, Malin? All right. And then I think you're next.
And then I'm next after that.
Okay.
I'll just stay up here.
Take it away, kiddo.
All right. I heard that Donna just bought a new lens. Anybody else just buy a new lens? Who? Yeah, okay. Anybody bought a new camera lately? No, what's wrong with you people? Is that because we didn't get our camera store here in Naples? Is that the problem? All right, well, let's watch this and see.
Bum bum ba da da bum. Oh no. I said I was done, I swore on my SD card. Then a new body dropped, and boy, that hit hard. 145 megapixels, brand new sensor inside. Now my old camera's soaking, feels like I lied. It's the GAS, gear acquisition syndrome. My credit card's smoking, it never goes home. I don't need it, no, I don't need it. But that shutter sound, oh, how I need it. The forums all said buy it, the reviews were glowing. Now there's 7 lenses and my bank account's slowing. Told my wife it's an investment, she just rolled her eyes. Said investment in what, hun? Your own demise. It's the GAS, gear acquisition syndrome. My closet's a shrine, basically a throne. I don't need it, no, I don't need it. But that shutter sound, oh, how I need it. Honey, it was on sale. It's got better autofocus. This one shoots raw, better raw. One more lens, I swear that's it. That's what you said last year. One more lens, I swear that's it. Yeah, right, buddy, yeah, right. GAS got me good. GAS got me good.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. So get out there and spend. You'll be all right. Yeah, then you can donate it to the auction, whatever you got left over. Okay, Marcel and a group of us went on an outing. I think it was July 17th. Does that sound about right? Somewhere in, yeah. And so I got a video report on the outing for you. Marcel?
Okay, we're going to do another outing. I did put some literature on the tables tonight. Amazingly, I only have 2 spots left for this upcoming outing next week. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll need your full name, phone number, and also your email address so I can have contact with you and you can have contact with me. So if anybody's interested in filling those 2 spots, let me know. And then after that, what we'll do is a wait list. And then beyond that, if we get enough people, we'll do the same outing sometime in the future for those people that didn't get to do it this time, if you have an interest. Okay?
Any questions?
Have any questions? Good. All right. Okay. Blocks a show to create impact. Oh, competition. We're going to do competition with Malin Stacy once again. All right.
This
Boy.
was not a video. So Kim is up in Canada somewhere with John. They're out seeing Manitoba and Vancouver and who knows where else. So I'm filling in for her tonight. If you haven't seen it, this is our competition page where you can see everybody's images. We have a competition starting on August 15th, as Sonny said. Standard categories, color, monochrome, creative, and this time a completely new one, food and markets. How many of you are professional food photographers? That's what I thought. So about the food category, what kind of pictures to submit? Well, I thought maybe I could inspire you a little bit by sharing some of my experiences in the great state of Minnesota. I spent 20 years up there. And what's Minnesota known for? Oh, yeah, but once the snow melts, what do they do in the summertime? For food. Corn. So the farmers in the winter, the snow, there's your snow, they're planning. They're trying to figure out how they're going to spend their farm loans on buying seed and fertilizer and all that good stuff, maybe a new tractor. Then they prepare the ground, put it together. Notice this is all food. Oh, I wanted to mention, if you submit this to the competition, it's a great food shot, I think. You think you'll find a judge that thinks so? Probably not, because they don't have that abstract intensity, let's call it that way. But I would love to see it. Nobody's asked me to judge yet recently. Planting. This is what a corn planter looks like, in case you haven't seen one. Memorial Day, the stuff comes up out of the ground. 4th of July, knee high. And there's also a soda by that name, in case you forgot. It's almost ready. We're getting into August. And then you harvest the darn stuff. You get the combines out there with a bin truck in the back and load it up, haul it off to the packing plant. I've seen this. All of these pictures are out of AI because I didn't have the photographs, but this is stuff I've seen. A pile of corn outside the packing plant waiting to go in. And then it shows up at Publix on the shelf, just like that. And then you serve it. Now, most of you figure you can do this shot, right? Somehow. Oh, I don't see a lot of confidence out there. Okay, well, submissions begin August 15th. Submissions end September 15th. There's the link to where to go to put them in. Good luck. Have fun. Okay. So y'all know, how many of you have been on the outings down to the theater, the Naples Players? Quite a few. There's a bunch that aren't here tonight that have been there. I've been volunteering there since probably about 2018. And since before the theater was remodeled and during the remodeling and now that it's done. It's a great place to go watch a show, and they have great shows, and they do wonderful productions. I mean, just the whole thing is put together so well. You would not know that it was a community theater where none of the actors are paid. Some of the staff is paid. The orchestras are paid for the musicals, but the actors on stage are all directed by competent staff that knows what the heck they're doing. And we're fortunate to have one of those with us here tonight, Philip Fazio, who started last year as artistic director for the Naples Players. In my experience, the quality of play that's appeared there since he started has been remarkable. And we just saw Les Mis a couple of months ago. I think David also saw it and mentioned it on Facebook, really loved it. Yeah, several other people saw it, so it's good. So Philip's going to talk to us tonight about how working a stage compares to photographing a group or photographing somebody where you're going to pose people and put them together. Does that sound about right? Am I in the right ballpark? Yep. All right, let's go. We're going to work on the whiteboard.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Philip Fazio. I'm the artistic director at the Naples Players. What is an artistic director is a question I get a lot. Yeah. Oh, fancy.
He doesn't have a room mic. We'll get you a lav mic.
Okay.
You can have either one of those,
Okay,
but not both.
great. I'll do this one then.
Well, this is a room mic.
Great. Can you all hear me? Yeah, I'm in the theater. We're used to projecting. So I'm the artistic director, which a lot of people say, what does an artistic director do? So I direct about 3 to 4 shows throughout the season. And then when I'm not directing, I'm kind of acting as the producer and overseeing the productions, making sure that everything's staying on track and on budget, and that we're meeting all of our deadlines and fulfilling our mission of the organization. So I started out in theater as an actor, primarily. Should I go ahead and put that on?
Sure.
All right. Great. Should these two maybe not be close to each other? Is that part of the problem?
One's just going.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Right.
yeah. Other one?
That's good.
Yeah. Great. Can you all hear me? Terrific. So I started off as an actor, and I went to undergrad at the Boston Conservatory, where I was getting a BFA in theater. And while I was there, part of our curriculum was that all of the actors had to take a directing class. And in that directing class, I kind of had this light bulb go off that told me this is the part of the theater world that you are meant to be in. Forget that acting stuff, stick to directing. And I kept having kind of these flashbacks to myself as a child, and that were signals that this is where I was meant to be. And one of those signals was when I was a kid, me and my brother were in the chess club. Did anyone here ever play chess or currently play chess? So my brother was phenomenal at chess. He, I think, came in ninth at the youth nationals that we went to in Orlando, Florida. I came in 3,742. And part of that was because my brother, followed the instructions, played strategically, tried to win. I would move the pieces around on the board to make interesting shapes and tell stories with the different characters. What is the knight saying to the rook? And what are the queen and king doing? There's some tension there. So I would be creating these stories in my head, and then before I knew it, I lost. But that has served me well because I, at a very early age, was practicing how to block a story. Does anybody know what blocking is in theater terms? Yes. Yes, how you tell the actors what to do, where to move, where to go on the stage. And in this directing class that I took in undergrad that served as my foundation as a director, we followed a book by someone named Molly Bang, and it was called Picture This. It's a phenomenal book. It's not primarily meant for directors. I think as photographers, you probably also get a lot of value out of it. But it uses the story of Little Red Riding Hood to show how to make a dynamic picture, which as directors, when we're blocking, what we're really doing is making stage pictures. So we're moving people around into different places to help illuminate the subtext of the scene, to help build tension between characters, to help create an image that an audience will see and will have a lasting impression. So throughout this book, Picture This, Molly Bang uses the story of Little Red Riding Hood to show how characters in different positions on a page can help tell a story in a different way, how distance between two different people creates tension, how color, what a character might be wearing, helps illuminate what's happening in the scene. She shows Little Red Riding Hood wearing different colored cloaks and what that image instinctively means to our brains when we see it. So just wanted to throw that out there. Molly Bang, picture this. You can buy it online for like $3 used. Definitely worth checking out. But one of the other things that we learned in this directing class early on is how to block a scene and where we place people around a stage, what that means to an audience, how we shape a group together, how we create individuals on stage in different places to illuminate what is happening in the story. So I'm going to divide up here. Oh, we can't see that, can we? Let's try this one. Oh,
Or that one might work too.
yeah, let's try it. Let's start with black and then, uh-oh, it doesn't erase. Is that better? All right, great. So we're going to say the audience is right here. And this is the stage. So there's 3 different sections of the stage. There's down center, up left, down left, up right, and down right. And you'll notice that it's opposite from where you're sitting because it follows what the actors are seeing. So when we block a show, we go based off of the actors right and left as opposed to the audience's right and left. So we've got up center, up left, up right, down right. Where do you think on the stage is the most dynamic place for an actor to be to make the strongest impact on the audience? We've got down center, we've got one of the corners. Up center. Depends? Who said depends? What does it depend on? Yeah. So a lot of times where we place the actor on stage will instinctively create a mood by itself. Who said down center? You all are correct. This is the strongest, most powerful place for an actor to be on stage. It's right in front of the audience. It's right there. We don't have to turn. We're looking directly at it. Where do we think is the second strongest position? Up center, yes. That one was a little bit of an easy one. Now we get to the difficult part. Where is the third strongest place on stage? Who said down right? Why down right? That is correct. We naturally look to the left, so down right, which is actually the audience's left, is going to be the third strongest. Yeah. Well, we still read, but China, did you say China? Yes, correct. If you're staging a show, yes, there, then these rules do not apply. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Great. So if we follow this chart, upstage left is the weakest, most dynamic place. So when we're blocking a show, if we want to make a strong impact, like especially who saw Les Mis when they were here? An actor's big solo, a lot of times they lived in this region, yes? A lot of times they might be here, and then towards the end of the song, they would move down to down center. That is creating a strong impact on the audience. If we ever have a ghost coming on stage, we bring them on from upstage left because it is the weakest point for us to naturally look at. So if we want to try to sneak someone on, that's how we're going to sneak them on. That's a little sly director trick. Anyone have any questions on this? Yes. Yep, all the same blocking rules apply. This is still going to be the strongest place, whether they're singing or doing a Shakespeare soliloquy. This is the place where a lot of directors are going to keep it. But a lot of times, we might start a song or something in one of the down left or down right positions and then have them transition into the stronger part. Because we don't want to start at the strongest position. We want to tell the story through the song and the actor's journey, leading them to that place downstage center for the strongest point to finish what they are delivering. Great. Can I have 2 volunteers from the audience who want to participate in a little blocking activity? Thank you. Come on down. Malin, did you want to? Yeah, great. All right. Can I have you 2? Yes. Can I have you 2 stand and face each other? Great. Now take a step away from each other. Take a step away from each other. Great. And now can you come towards me? Great. And can you angle to face each other a little more now? Great. So, who are we looking at in this scenario? Correct. Yes. So, can I have you 2 reverse what you're doing? Can you come down? Yes, exactly. And now face him. And now face. Yep. Who are we looking at here? Yes. So, but do we agree that this is a more interesting visual than can you come back downstage for us? Yeah. You stay downstage as well and just face each other. See, here we're on the same plane as opposed to the diagonal. Another directing trick is that diagonals are dynamic. So that's a kind of rule that we follow. Keeping actors on the same plane is flat and we get eye fatigue. It's not as interesting. Can you step back to that?
It's the same in photography.
Exactly. Yes.
Diagonals are more interesting.
Exactly. Yes. So what that's the thesis of this whole little chat that I'm doing is that our worlds might seem very different, but we're all using the same tricks. Diagonals are dynamic. Great. Thank you both so much. Can we give a round of applause to our actors, please? Oh, great. So the other thing that we'll talk about is when we've got a group of people on stage. So let's say that downstage center, we've got Jean Valjean, and we've got a whole bunch of people, let's say, upstage right here in a group. So we've got a group of people up here, and we've got a separated person downstage center. What does this picture tell us? They're an outsider. Yeah, that there's tension. They don't belong. Yes. Confrontation. Yes. What if we've got a big group here, we've got a big group here, and then we've got one person here and one person here, one person here. What does this setup tell us? It's time for one table. What else does this tell us? Indecision, yes. There's chaos in the world. This environment is lacking cohesion, lots of different ideas. Yes. Like West Side Story, exactly. Yes, warring gangs. Yes, that's what this world is telling us. 9 to 5, yeah. Yes, yeah. Um, has anyone ever seen anything? So a lot of the main musicals are done in the Kizzy Theater or Proscenium Theater. Has anyone ever seen anything in the Price Studio Theater at the Naples Players? That's our 100-seat, what we call a thrust space, yes? That space is a little different because we don't have the audience on just one side, but the audience is on 3 sides. So it's what we call a 3-sided thrust space. So there's audience here, here, and here. So our lovely little number grid doesn't apply because we aren't all looking at the stage from one place. So if we've got audience here, an audience here, an audience here, where do we think is the strongest place to place an actor? All the tickets in this space are priced the same. Yes, correct. Yes, right here. Where do we think is the second strongest place? I'll give you a hint. There's two of them. There's a tie for second. The corners, yes. So right here. So we've got the strongest place right here, visible by all three sides. And then also the next strongest is going to be in the corners, able to be seen by everybody. Yeah. Um, the rules of blocking are a little different in a thrust space. We still want to keep those diagonals because if you have an actor, let's say we've got an actor here and an actor here, these people sitting here and these people sitting here are just going to be looking at backs. So the diagonal rule is even more important in a thrust space because we wouldn't want to have these two people on both sides. We'd want to, if this person is right here, then we want to have another person right here, keeping this diagonal so that they're the most open to the audience on three sides. And going with that diagonal rule, if we've got diagonals, if we're thinking about diagonal movement throughout, one trick when you're blocking in a thrust space is to think of moving the actors in figure eights as opposed to straight lines. Because when they're going in straight lines, they've got a majority of their back to the audience most of the time. But if they're moving on the diagonal in that figure eight, they're able to show more of their face to the audience on all three sides. Yes. That going to theater and the round, the rules primarily still apply. We lose that strongest space right here. So we also had audience right here. Then the strongest place would be the corners. Second strongest would be right at center, but you're going to have to be doing a lot of pivoting. But yes, you still would move them on the diagonals to create not just interesting stage pictures, but also making sure that the audience can see you on all sides. Any questions on that? Great. Do we have any questions on, who here has taken photographs at the Naples Players? Great. Do we have any questions on anything that you photographed in your time that you've come to work at TNP? Yes. Great question. So we just did Les Mis. We just closed it, and there were over 400 light cues in the show. So our lighting designer on each production programs the light board to tell all of the 100 plus instruments we have in the air when to be on, at what intensity. We've got intelligent lights that can move and change color. So a lot of times they'll program what they want those lights to be doing as well. But for that show specifically, there were 400 different light looks throughout the musical. And then the stage manager calls the show and calls when the lights change for each of those 400 cues. But yeah, I know that we've had some photographers who have come and they're about to get the perfect shot, and then all of a sudden, the lights will change and their shot is ruined at that moment. The shot is shot, yes. Yes, indeed. The lighting can help us focus the audience, definitely, yes. But a lot of times, if we've got an actor in a strong focal point where we want the audience to be looking at, if it's a good lighting designer, they'll help enhance it. And they'll know, especially like if we've got a ghost entering up left, they're going to make sure there's minimal light up in that area to help us with that strategic entrance. But yes, a lot of times a good lighting designer is helping aid the director's blocking and help infuse where the audience should be looking at all times. Yes? It certainly can. So if we have a mountain stage right, and the actor's going to be way up in the air that the audience has to look up at, they're not going to enjoy that as much as looking downstage left if the actor is more flat or at eye level. So yes, height can help either attract our eye or cause a hindrance as well. So set design is definitely going to aid us in how we want the audience to focus on the stage. Yes.
Some height in the set always, it adds to the production, does it not?
It
Provides some variety to the.
It does. If it's just a couple of feet up in the air, it's not going to affect the power grid of focus points. But it does make for a more dynamic stage picture on more diagonals. Exactly, which we love. It's all programmed into a computer and run through software so that it's notated in the script where the lights are supposed to change. So a stage manager is calling where all of those cues change. So there's someone at the board who pushes a button that's the go button, but they have to wait for the stage manager's go. You can't just push it whenever you feel that impulse. You got to wait for the stage manager so that the light changes at the exact moment that the designer wanted it to. Yes. It's a great question. So it all starts with a concept meeting. We gather the director, all of the designers together. This is about 6 months before the show opens. The director shares his or her vision for the show, what they think, what they felt when they were reading it, what they want the audience to think and feel, what they want the audience to take away, the overall message and goal that we have with the production. All of that gets hashed out in a big conversation. Everybody goes away for about 2 weeks, and then the designers come back and start to share their first initial sketches and drawings. So that's when a set designer will kind of have just sort of a pencil and paper sketch of what the set could be. We look at that, we talk about it, hash it out. Another 2 weeks goes by, and then the designer comes back and has a more detailed blueprint of the design. So it's a process that we meet every about 2 weeks and slowly start to build it until we've got full renderings of what the set will look like, what the paint treatment will be, and then it gets sent to our shop to get built. But it's a process that starts 6 months out. The design doesn't really get finalized for about 2.5 months. We're busy over at the Naples Players, so we're working on multiple shows right now. We're currently in production meetings and about to start rehearsal for Over the River and Through the Woods. That's a comedy about 2 sets of Italian grandparents who love their Italian grandson, and starts with the grandson coming to them and saying, "Hi, folks. I know, our whole family lives here in New Jersey. I've just gotten a promotion and a job transfer to Seattle. And I'm an Italian American myself, so I know how most Italian grandparents receive news like that." So it's a fun comedy. We're also about to, we are in the production process, but we don't start rehearsals for a few weeks for our next musical, which is Come From Away. It's a Tony Award-winning show, beautiful musical about the day after 9/11, when 38 planes landed in Gander, Newfoundland to seek refuge after all of the airspace got shut down. It's how a community comes together in a moment of tragedy. An absolutely beautiful show, and I'm really excited that we're producing it.
When does that open?
Yeah. That opens mid-November, I believe. Yes. Yeah. And Rocket Man, how could I forget? So I mentioned the Price Studio Theater. We are currently in production meetings for Rocket Man, which is our first show that we're doing in there. And fun fact, we're redoing our seating platforms in that space. So we got a lot of feedback from our patrons that it was a very cramped, tight space. So we've expanded the seating on all 3 sides so that there's way more legroom, and I think our patrons are going to be very happy with that. Yes?
I presume you have shows where occasionally you would prefer not to open up the side seats because that show needs an audience in front of the stage. And that would be a unique situation. Have you ever experienced that?
Not since I've been there, because we strategically pick shows that we think will work with the audience on all three sides. If there's a show that feels like it's a proscenium front audience show, then we'll move it into our bigger Kizzy proscenium space. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, are a lot of the set designers that we work with, I may on their own do that, but I don't think they want to admit that they do that because I think they see it as job competition. So a lot of times, we have had a few set designers who, once they come up with an initial a ground plan and rendering of the set, we'll sometimes put it into an AI model to fill in some of the color work and kind of speed up some of that process. But a lot of the initial concept and development, they want to do their own. Yes.
How do you balance, like, I mean, you come from a way that has kind of iconic blocking.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance using the things that work really well and having some creativity?
Yes. My very first directing teacher said, when you're reading a play that you've been assigned to direct, it's really hard to do. It's like, don't think about purple elephants, and all you can do is think about purple elephants, but try to forget anything you've ever seen. If you've seen another production of it, Come From Away has a very iconic staging. So the trick that we sometimes use is go to a place where you can shut off everything and just focus on reading the script and trying to pull imagery out of the actual text that's on that page, where you're not, a prisoner of what's come before you. So I went to the beach and sat down and read through the script and came up with my own concept of ideas and images. And what we've created as a team is very different visually from that initial production. We are utilizing 12 chairs that are being moved around the stage. And we talked about that, but there's just so many scene shifts that have to happen. We're on a plane, we're, in a diner, moving back and forth in, half a second. So we allowed ourselves to borrow that from the original production, but everything else about the scenic design is entirely created on our own. Yes.
Philip, I think what you're telling me is if I'm going to take pictures of the family at Christmas, I should start on June 25th.
Well, are you creating a unique set design? Are you assigning costumes for them to wear? If so, then yes, you got to start 6 months before. You can block a scene in a couple of hours. So if you're just taking some dynamic pictures of your family, you just have to have a quick blocking rehearsal, make sure they memorize the movements and the positions and hit their marks, and you're all set.
A little bit like growing corn.
Yes, exactly. It's a process, yeah. Great. Any other questions? Yes. Mm-hmm.
He did the American Symphony, and that's how he approached it, exactly what you're talking about. And he went all around the country and picked musicians from Louisiana, from Montana, and he brought them all together, and they created a symphony with that music. He said, forget everything you've heard, and it's exactly what he did. It's amazing to watch it.
Yeah.
Makes you think,
Follow the material on the page. Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. I'll have to check that out. Cool. Yes.
What was Molly's last name?
Molly Bang. B-A-N-G. Yes. Picture this.
Is there a difference in how you direct a musical versus a regular play, and then how you interact with the musician?
That's a great question. Yes. So on a standard musical, you will in addition to the full design team, you'll also have a music director who teaches all of the songs, and a lot of times will also work with the orchestra if you have a live orchestra. Choreographer typically will handle, depending on the director working on it, either as soon as the music starts, the choreographer does it, or as soon as the characters are required to dance, the choreographer will handle it. I enjoy it because I love the collaborative process. So to me, it's more people to help bring the show to life. I also think there's something uniquely powerful about a musical, that the combination of not just scripted word, but also music and movement can tell a story in an even more heightened, powerful, and dynamic way. As far as my directorial approach, I don't have a different philosophy. I still follow the same guidelines and tools that I gained at school and have refined over the years of directing. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I answer your question fully, but I pretty much do it the same. I enjoy aspects of both. When I'm doing a play, I'm like, this is great. There's so much more time to work on the scenes because we don't have those stupid songs interrupting us. But then when I work on a musical, I sit back and I watch it and I go, oh my gosh, this is so powerful. And we're achieving so much more emotionally than we could if these songs and dances weren't here. So I typically will prefer the one that I'm working on at the moment. Yes. That's a great question. It sadly has nothing to do with the song by Elton John. It's a fascinating play. It starts with a middle-aged man having a midlife crisis, and he takes place in his attic. He's getting rid of all of his worldly possessions. It looks like he's like gonna start over. And he's an architect who has all these unfulfilled plans and dreams. And in his dreaming and planning, he's thinking about, what if there's another world where I or the people in my life made different choices? How would our lives have played out? And then, not to spoil anything, but in Act 2, we go to an alternate world where we see all of the same characters who had made different choices live out those same lives. Yeah. Yes. It's a great question. Someone actually asked me this at lunch, and I had to think about it for a moment. I'm very fortunate as a director that I've gotten to direct most of my dream shows. So now I get to just direct really cool plays that speak to our community here in Naples. But one of my favorites that I did do is a musical called Sunday in the Park with George. Anybody know that show? It's based on a painting, Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Le Grand Jatte by George Seurat. And Act 1 is all about George Seurat struggling to create this mammoth painting. He refined the art of pointillism, so it's a whole bunch of dots around the canvas that create, when you step back, a full image. So that's Act 1, his struggle to create this work of art. Act 2 is 100 years in the future. George has passed away. We meet his grandson. And this work of art that he struggled with is finally receiving the appreciation that it deserved. But it's all about George's grandson, who's a visual artist, and his struggle to fulfill his artistic dreams and visions. So it's a show that I've loved for a very long time, and was very fortunate that I had the opportunity to do it. Yes?
What's the difference between theatre here and in England? Apart from there's a lot more.
There,
It's a lot cheaper.
it's a lot cheaper. There's also a lot more. The British government does a better job at funding the arts over there. So one of the reasons why it's cheaper is because it's greatly subsidized over there.
But artistically,
There, there is. I feel like the longer time goes on, the longer the easier it is now to share resources electronically. The easier it is for artists to jump across the pond and see each other's work. The more that I feel like it's kind of melding together. Decades ago, there used to be a philosophy that the Brits were better at Shakespeare and the Americans were better at musical theater because they're our own art forms that we created. Now I think we're both equally good at each various art form of the theater canon. And I think that's because American actors are being trained in the UK. UK actors are being trained over here in America. We're able to easily share resources, check out each other's work. So much more theater is easily accessible online now. Um, so I see a melding of the worlds, for better or worse.
There's all the same principles.
Yep, all the same principles, all the same training. We're all, yeah, working in the same sandbox. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. I do, but one of the blessings and the curses of theater is that it's ephemeral. And as soon as the show closes, it's gone. So, as I was telling these gentlemen, I'm so thankful that we have phenomenal photographers who luckily are able to come and capture images from our shows, because a lot of times that's all that lasts when it's gone. So, I can I can choose to look back on a show that's closed with rose-colored glasses and just remember the moments that I liked and forget the things that I don't, or I can be haunted by like, oh, I had my chance to do Sunday in the Park with George and I messed up this scene and now I have to live with it for the rest of my life. Yes. Yes, yeah. It's malleable. We love that. Yeah. Yes. Fix it in post. Oh, all the time. All the time. I was at a performance of Les Mis, and we brought in a scrim to hide some scene changes that would happen upstage. And the scrim came in, and it was a quiet moment. I think it was a moment with Javert and Valjean, and a lot of it is in recitative, and so it's very light underscoring. And I just hear this metal scraping sound, and I'm like, well, that's not good. So, and then the curtain came up, and we had these sliders that would cross the stage to help do really dynamic crossfades. And only one of them was in its position. The other one was off on the side. And I went, that's really not good. So then I went backstage and I saw them roping it up to the grid. It was on a traveler, and it had come off of its traveler track. Someone had moved it too far and it had broken through the metal piecing that was stopping it. Um, but the show kept going. They didn't have to stop. And most of the people in the audience probably had no idea that, one of the sliders that was just sitting off stage right was a pivotal part of these dynamic stage pictures, but they got to see version B that day. Any other questions? Great. Well, thank you all so much for having me here. This was a pleasure.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a break. I was invited to come out to a farm and shoot the farm animals. And so I went, and it was one of those days where the heat index out there in the middle of the state in Montville was like 110 degrees. So I said to the farmer as I was shooting some pictures of the animals, I said, you know, I said, it's hot. I said, I can really feel the intensity of this today. He said, yeah, he said, it's so damn hot that chickens are laying hard boiled eggs. Okay, next up, Jim Robillard, Lens on Location.
Look at that. So one of the questions that comes up a lot for the club that we discussed at our board meeting is where to shoot. We get that question a lot. Where can you go? And a lot of us are bird photographers, and so we have a lot of resources, and we pretty much know where to go. So this is an attempt, first of all, to let you know the resources we do have as a club available to you and where you can look about places to go. So with that, does this work? Should. Okay. All right. The first place is the club website. So they're under club activities. There's other resources, and it's members only, so you do need to be logged in. And then Malin has put together this compendium, and it goes quite a ways down. I don't know how many entries you have, but you have quite a few, where he goes through various places, and there's links to the websites, the map links, and just kind of an overall, here's where you can go. I have on my website, which is all birds of Southwest Florida, I also have a locations, but of course they're all birds. And if you go there, you will see that there are about 20 some locations, and you can click on any one of those and it will go to a location, it'll give you the map, a little bit about whether there's bathroom facilities, you know, what you can expect. And then every one of the bird photos that I've taken over the years at that location is linked below so that you can kind of see what you can expect when you go to those places. So that covers us a little bit, but we thought that it would be really nice to start kind of a more regular look at where else can you go and kind of focus a little bit more on landscape and other types of photography other than just bird photography. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Malin, who's going to switch us to this movie. And our first location we're going to take a look at is Marco Island. You might think it's just owls and eagles, but it's not. Let's go on location. This month, let's explore Marco Island. Marco Island's more than just owls and eagles. Let's take a look. Our first stop is South Beach, one of my favorite places. The parking is on Swallow Avenue. It's a county parking lot. And if you don't have a beach permit, it's going to cost you $10. It's a short walk across Collier Boulevard, down a path to the beach. It's about a 10-minute walk from the entrance down to the jetty. At high tide, you might get your feet wet a little bit. The jetty is a great foreground element with a sweeping view of Marco Island and the beaches. There's a jetty offshore about 100 yards. Great for posing people. Always a fisherman at the end of the jetty. What kind of pictures you can expect? From foreground elements, terrific sunsets, the offshore jetty, a great place to experiment with long exposure. And panoramas. Because you're at an angle to the beach, you get sweeping views. You have a kayak, the clouds become mountains. Marco Island isn't just owls and eagles. We have a wide variety of wildlife. Even though the island shuts down at 9 o'clock, Marco midnight, there's a bunch of wildlife to explore. Another great spot is many of the bridges on Marco Island. Here we're going to the parking lot as you exit Marco Island. Great for sunrise photos. Let's take a look at what we can get here. Foreground elements, mangroves on both sides, facing south, thunderstorms in the morning. Also great for a moonrise. The frigate birds live offshore on the ABC Islands, just about half a mile from this point, and are often seen hovering overhead on the thermals. Terrific place for a sunrise photo. But that's not the only bridge. The Goodland Bridge and the backside of the 951 bridge also provide great opportunities. So let's explore the otter mound. No, there are no otters on Marco. It's basically a beautiful preserve where we can look at flowers, and it's really good in the spring and fall when warblers are here. Let's take a quick look. Even night blooming cirrus. The otter mound is a great place to practice your macro photography. Now let's take a look at Tiger Tail Beach. Tiger Tail is not what it once was. It was a terrific premier birding spot. Still has the boardwalk. And the tower for observation. And the lagoon. I don't recommend walking across the lagoon as you used to be able to get to the beach by walking directly across at this point as the video scans to the right. Now it's about 2/3 of a mile walk around to the Gulf, where you can get great reverse sunsets and time lapses and photos with the sea oats in the foreground. Let's take a look. So as you can see, Marco isn't just owls and eagles. Come down, take a look, plenty of places to take great photographs.
Right, next up, Christina Skibicki, are you going to come up and say anything tonight? Oh, geez, we're going to miss that. She always comes up and gives a great presentation, but tonight she's decided not to do that. Okay, here we go.
Actually, Christina asked me to speak for her, so I will. And the topic is volunteering at the Naples Players. Christina and I are both down there at times. Actually, I'm off duty right now because I've had some glaucoma that's given me trouble, and I work the cash registers and I can't see the damn numbers on it. So I've had to back off for a while. But there's lots of things you can do down there. You can usher, you can work the bar, you can go backstage, you can help build sets, you can paint, you can do a lot of things. Christina's worked as a dresser backstage, helping people get in and out of their costumes. If you like to get people dressed and undressed, then that's something you can do. What else, Christina? What else have you done? Props?
Hang lights.
Hang lights?
Down.
Yep. So we invite you to come on down and play with the folks at the Naples Players. The other thing I wanted to mention again, in case you forgot when I said it before, Naples Players is a great community organization. You saw an example of that tonight by having the artistic director come over and speak with you. But they do a lot of outreach in the community. It's part of their mission. They work with the sheriff's department on training deputies on how to interact with people that may be a problem, like our David. They work with the hospitals on training nurses and doctors on how to interact with patients. And there's a lot of things where they take their theatrical skills and bring them into the community. They offer, for people who are handicapped in any way, they offer free counseling and consultation to help them get jobs after they've graduated from high school. It's just one of the things that they do. So come on and play. Yeah.
If you want to volunteer, what is the process of doing it?
Have you been on any of our photo shoots down there? Ah, well, that gets you started because you have to fill out a volunteer form. If you go onto their website, you'll find where you can volunteer. It's all over the place. They have about, I'm not sure what today's number is, but they have about 800 volunteers that do all kinds of things down there. Yeah. Okay, let's do the movie. Thank you, Christina.